So, I am pretty sure that most of you have seen the second presidential debate of this election year between Trump and Kamala Harris, right? Now, some of you may not have seen her subsequent interview. Now, if you notice, for most of this election cycle, now that she's the candidate, she's pretty much been ducking and dodging interviews, right? She did the interview with what was it CNN? She did a CNN interview and she had Tim Walz right next to her like he was a, emotional, companion or something. Like she needed somebody to be there for emotional support. But she then later did the debate with Donald Trump, and I'm to the point now where at first I was saying she did better than I thought she would, but the more that I think about it, of course she did better. The ABC moderators didn't really ask her any tough questions. Pretty much what happened in the debate, and we covered it, was they would basically ask Trump a question that was more of an attack. And so they would pretty much say something like, so, Donald Trump, you've been a horrible person as far as we're concerned. Do you regret being horrible? And then Donald Trump would be like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And he would give his response. And then they would turn to Kamala Harris and they would say, so, Vice President, Madam Vice President, what do you think about him being horrible? Isn't he horrible? And then she would go in. So basically they would attack Trump with questions, and then he would respond. And if he made any type of statements, they would fact check his statements, which we're now finding out the fact checks that they were given were not facts, right? But then they would turn around and they would basically give Kamala an alley-oop to insult Trump some more. And whenever they did ask her a legitimate question, they pretty much just allowed her to bloviate, say whatever she wanted to say, and not really answer the question. And they definitely didn't hit her up with any follow-up questions. And a lot of the accusations she was hurling at Donald Trump, they didn't fact check it. They didn't fact check the Charlottesville thing that she said. They didn't fact check the January 6th. They didn't fact check anything, right? So after the debate was over, all of the lefties are running around here saying Kamala won the debate. I don't know how that's possible when Trump actually gained 2 points after the debate and she lost 2 points as it pertains to the economy. Hell, they even said that on CNN, which we know is against Donald Trump, right? So we know it's the truth, right? So people are saying, oh, well, she won the debate. And first and foremost, how did she win the debate if Donald Trump gained points and she lost points? How did she win the debate if she's immediately asking for another debate? She's asking for another debate because, like I told you guys, she did not deliver no type of serious blows. She did not do nothing except what everybody else has already done, and it's the same old story. You're hurling the same insults at Donald Trump that we've already heard, many of which that have been debunked numerous times over and over again, right? And a lot of these insults that they're hurling at him, especially the people that's coming in my chat room talking about some, oh, well, what about when he didn't rent to black people? What are you talking about in the 70s? Well, what about the full page ad he took out about the Central Park Five? What are you talking about, the 80s? It is 2024. Can we talk about 2024? If you notice, they never bring up Trump while he was in office. They never want to talk about that. They never want to talk about low gas prices. They never want to talk about lowest black unemployment. They never want to talk about more industry coming in here. They never want to talk about the fact that we were pouring steel again. They never want to talk about the fact that we were energy independent. And before anybody tries to come and say all of that BS, when he says energy independent, what he's basically talking about is we were more dependent on our oil than we were on everybody else's oil. Okay? So there were a lot of things that he did in his presidency that were positives. And if you notice, they never want to talk about that. They want to talk about all of these other things, right? So she wants another debate with Donald Trump, but Donald Trump is saying that he doesn't feel the need to do a third debate, right? So why did she do this interview? I'll tell you why. Because in the debate, what the American public was waiting for, we were waiting for her, well, I wasn't, but her supporters or people that were on the fence, people that were undecided, they were waiting for her to explain her policies, what she plans on doing. But more than anything, they were waiting for her to distance herself from Joe Biden, since she's part of the current administration, right? She didn't do that, right? So, of course, her campaign team probably was like, okay, you know what we need to do? We need to do another interview. So they went and found some random guy with a local ABC, this freaking ABC News outlet that's local to, I don't know where they're local to. They decide to have her to do an interview, which is really suspect. Why wouldn't you do an interview with the major networks, right? You're doing it with ABC6. Why wouldn't you do it with CNN? Why wouldn't you do it with one of the major networks, you know, where it's going to be seen everywhere? Why are you doing this? It feels like they're trying to test the waters. It also feels like they're trying to take one more shot at trying to get the American people to like her. The only problem is she's not likable. And she sucks at repeating the script, because they've given her talking points and people keep wondering, why does she sound like, you know, she doesn't know what she's talking about? Because she's forgetting the talking points. That's why. I personally think she suffers from anxiety. I think she suffers from anxiety because from the moment the interview started, she looks nervous. She looks nervous as hell, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to watch the interview and I'm going to dissect it. I'm going to show you exactly what she's doing in the interview and why it's problematic. You feel what I'm saying? So watch this.
All good?
Okay.
Okay, wonderful. Good. Awesome. Madam Vice President, pleasure to meet you. Thanks for your time today. Our audience appreciates your time as well.
Of course.
As you know,
So already off the rip, look at how nervous she looks. She is not comfortable. Already off the rip, you could tell she's nervous. If you know anything about body language, okay? She is nervous, all right? Because you have to understand the history of Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris Kamala got primaried. The only reason you have her as a VP is because Joe Biden picked her to appease black folk. But she wasn't qualified to be VP. I would argue she's never been qualified any position that she's ever been in. Well, maybe except one position. Hi-oh, but anyway, I would argue that she's never been qualified for any of the positions that she's been in. And now it's showing. Now it is showing. See, this is what's happening right now. What you're watching is you're watching someone fail in real time. You notice how they say when the chips are down, certain people rise to the occasion. When, you know, when things get tough, or, you know, there's some people that shine through adversity. She's not one of those people. She's not one of those people. She's folding. And this is the reason why they did everything in their power to keep her from doing interviews. She cannot handle the pressure. Now, some of y'all are going to say, well, what about the debate? Bruh, the debate? She had help with that debate would have went entirely different. It would have been drastically different if you would have had moderators that were non-biased. The reason why you didn't see her getting nervous and folding up is because they didn't apply no pressure. They didn't apply no pressure. You feel me? Like, if they would have applied the pressure to her that they applied to Trump, she'd have had a meltdown. I'm telling you right now. But let's check it out.
All good?
Okay.
Okay, wonderful. Good. Awesome. Madam Vice President, pleasure to meet you. Thanks for your time today.
Hi.
Our audience appreciates your time as
Of
well.
course.
As you know, we're sitting here in a state and arguably in front of an audience that 54 days from now could decide the outcome of this presidential election.
Yeah.
You hear it more than I do. People want to know more about you and about your specific plans.
We want to know more about you. Who the hell are you? we want to know more about you, guy. Who are you? And where did they find you? Talk about I hear you hear it more than I do. We want to know who you are. Nah, nigga, we want to know who you are, bro. Like, what the random news anchor from a local station?
At the debate the other night, you talked about creating an opportunity economy. I wonder if we can drill down on that a little bit. When we talk about bringing down prices and making life...
And by the way they are trying to walk her through all of this like she's a toddler is ridiculous, bruh. It's ridiculous. Like, the way he's sitting here, wonder if we can drill down on that. Like, what?
more affordable for people. Yeah. What are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard. She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager. I grew up in a community of hardworking people, you know, construction workers and nurses and teachers. And I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, you know, but a lot of people will relate to this. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn.
Now, what in the haberdasheries and hemoglobin is going on here?
He asked her a very simple question. He asked her to explain. He said, can we drill down on what an opportunity economy is? She goes into a soliloquy about how she was raised and some weird comment about people taking pride in their lawns. And I'm going to tell you what this is. The moment I heard this, this is what it is, right? This is a D student. This is a D student. I guarantee you, because this is the same spiel she tried to offload at the debate and did horribly, right? Her campaign probably wrote her an immaculate speech, and for every question this guy is asking her, they probably wrote out some immaculate shit. She keeps forgetting it. Or she's listening to them tell her what she needs to say, but she's not quick enough to say it fast enough, so you're getting bits and pieces of it. Right? Because where did that come from? Where did the, people take pride in their lawn? And if you notice her body language, she's trying to convey it even though she's not saying it. You feel me? This is why it looks inauthentic, because she's trying to express positive energy, but what she's saying doesn't match her body language. So it just comes off as awkward and nervous, right? We gonna run it back. We gonna run it back.
When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard. She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager. I grew up in a community of hardworking people, you know, construction workers and nurses and teachers. And I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, you know, but a lot of people will relate to this. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn, you know, and I was raised
Right here. Right here. That's where it's really showing. Number one, as she's talking, she's looking down. She's not even making eye contact with him, right? And when she says that about the lawn, you see the nervousness. You see the nervousness. Watch.
to this. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn,
Right there.
you know,
Right there. Right there.
and
Right there.
I was raised
And she's trying to remember what they told her to say. See, if this was really her story, she'd be able to say it with no problem. See, I can sit up here and I can tell y'all what I went through. And I can convey it passionately because I really lived it. I really went through it. It's like Benny the Butcher said. He said, I really lived it. That's why the things I say sound specific, right? She's trying to tell you a story that is not her story. And that's why she can't, it's not organic. It's artificial. And this is why she looks so nervous trying to do it.
experience, you know, but a lot of people will relate to this. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn, you know, and I was raised to believe and to know that all people deserve dignity.
What?
And that we as Americans have a beautiful character. You know, we have ambitions and aspirations and dreams, but not everyone necessarily has access to the resources that can help them fuel those dreams and ambitions. So when I talk about building an opportunity economy, it is very much with the mind of investing in the ambitions and aspirations and the incredible work ethic of the American people, and creating opportunity for people, for example, to start a small business. My mother, you know, worked long hours, and our neighbor helped raise us. We used to call her, I still call her, our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small business owners. I learned who they are from my childhood, and she was a community leader. She hired locally. She mentored. Our small businesses are so much a part of the fabric of our communities, not to mention, really, I think, the backbone of America's economy. So my opportunity economy plan includes giving startups a $50,000 tax deduction to start their small business. It used to be.
So, first and foremost, this is brutal to watch. So I apologize to everybody that's in here watching this with me. This is brutal to watch. I mean, just brutal. And it's filled with Freudian slips. It is filled with. Do you want to know why the word opportunity keeps coming up in her speech? Because she's talking about her opportunity. I got to get this right. This is my opportunity to be president. I got to get this right. This is my opportunity. I can't blow this. This is my only opportunity. That's why that keeps coming up. Her whole thing is filled with Freudian slips, bruh. When she said a lot of people don't have the resources they need, she's talking about herself right now. She's talking about the fact that she doesn't have access to her script. She doesn't have access to somebody to tell her what the hell is going on. She doesn't have access to like everything that she's saying pertains to her, but not in the way you think. It's not about her story. It's about her current situation sitting there giving that interview. And look, here's the thing. Aside from the fact that it's filled with Freudian slips, right? You know what it reminds you of? It reminds you of when you got in trouble and they sent you to the principal's office. That's what she sounds like. She sounds like she's explaining to the principal like her alibi for whatever it's like she got in trouble in class. They sent her to the principal's office and she's trying to lie to the principal to get out of trouble. This is what it sounds like. It has the same level of nervousness, the same level of anxiety, you know, and when she really gets to rolling, right? She's doing something that I used to do when I was in high school, right? You ever have a book report or you had to write some sort of report on something that you needed to read, but you were lazy and you didn't read the whole thing? So when you go to write your report, you only know a little bit about it. So what you do is you try to take that little paragraph that you know about it and you try to stretch it out into a whole paper. So you start with the word salad and you repeat yourself numerous times and now you've put together this whole paper based off of one paragraph that you read. That's what she's doing. And guess what? It didn't work for you in school. It ain't gonna work for her now. It's not gonna work for her now. I'm sorry. But watch, I'm gonna go back just a little bit. I know it's excruciating, but I'm gonna go back just a little bit so we can.
You have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid.
Translation. I'm middle class like you. You can identify with me.
My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard.
I was raised by a single mother. That's for you black folk. She worked very hard. That's for you women. See, in that statement right there, they put that together to appeal to not only the middle class people, but the black people that were raised by single mothers and the feminists who were career driven.
She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I would.
Oh, I was poor like you guys. My mom had to save up money to buy us a house.
Was a teenager. I grew up in a community of hardworking people, you know, construction workers and nurses and teachers and
blue collar workers. Who doesn't grow up in a neighborhood with construction workers, nurses, and teachers? Is that unique to you? Is there no one? Is there a neighborhood where nobody in that neighborhood works construction? Nobody in that neighborhood works in a hospital? Nobody in that neighborhood is a teacher?
I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, you know, but a lot of people will relate to this. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn.
I try to explain this because everybody hasn't had the same experience. Well, maybe some people have. I grew up in a neighborhood where people took pride in their lawn. Yeah, because most Americans don't have lawns. Yeah, most Americans don't. You know what's so funny? There's actually more Americans with lawns than without lawns, if you really want to be honest.
You know? And I was raised to believe and to know that.
This is brutal. It's like she's on a job interview, y'all. I mean, she technically is on a job interview, but it's like she's at a job interview. You ever go to a job interview and you lied on your resume? And they start asking you them goofy ass questions like, so when has there ever been a moment where you were in a leadership position and you displayed your leadership skills? That's a good question. Let's see. Well, there was this one time, where I was a supervisor, and this one guy, he was stealing supplies, and I reported him, because you got to give answers that makes it seem like you're a company man, that you're gonna do some fuck boy type shit like snitch on somebody or some other shit like that, because they're gonna ask you, oh well, you just saw one of your fellow employees steal some supplies out of the supply room. What are you gonna do? Oh well, I'm definitely gonna tell someone. I'm gonna tell them right away. This is what it seemed like. She's on a job interview trying her best to find the best answers. Like, okay, shit. Well, what's some good qualities about you? Well, I was raised by my mom, we grew up, it was kind of rough, but, we made it through. I'm a self-starter. Yeah, I'm a self-starter. I'm the first to show up and the last to leave. Yeah, and my attendance is impeccable, The fuck are we talking about here?
All people deserve dignity.
All people deserve dignity. That was a desperate attempt at getting some sympathy from black folk.
And that we as Americans have a beautiful character. we as Americans have a beautiful character.
Nah, I don't feel like you standing on business, nigga.
We have ambitions and aspirations and dreams, but
pow, right there. She's talking about herself. She's talking about herself. See, that was meant to be subliminal. We Americans have a beautiful character. She's trying to tell you, look, I have a beautiful character. I know it's not coming out right now, but I have a beautiful character. We Americans have dreams and ambitions. No, she has dreams and ambitions. Dreams and ambitions of being the leader of the free world. Yeah.
But not everyone necessarily has access to the resources that can help them fuel those dreams and ambitions.
She doesn't have access to her script right now.
So when I talk about building an opportunity economy,
when she talks about opportunity, building an opportunity economy, opportunity for who? Opportunity for her.
Is very much with the mind of investing in the ambitions and aspirations and the incredible work ethic of the American people, and creating opportunity for people, for example, to start a small business. My mother, worked long hours, and our neighbor helped raise us. We used to call her, I still call her.
This is her appealing to the single mothers again.
Our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love her.
There goes small business owner again. You're overselling it. She was a small business owner. I love our small business owners.
Small business owners. I learned who they are from my childhood, and she was a community leader. She hired locally. She mentored.
This is her appealing to feminists.
Our small businesses are so much a part of the fabric of our communities, not to mention, really, I think, the backbone of America's economy. So my opportunity economy plan includes giving startups a $50,000 tax deduction.
Pause. She's offering startups a $50,000 tax deduction. There's only one problem with that. By the time you get the deduction, you're not a startup. She's not giving you anything. She's literally not giving you anything. In the first year of running a business, you're going to already be able to write off damn near that amount of money, if not more, depending on what type of business you got. That's not a bonus. That's not a plus. It doesn't help the people because, number one, if you're that desperate for a $50,000 deduction, 9 times out of 10, you ain't even got the money to start the business in the first place. It's not like she's giving out $50,000 grants. Like, she's not giving you anything. It's word salad.
To start their small business, it used to be $5,000. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000.
You're not starting a business with a $50,000 deduction. She said that shit as if she's giving you the $50,000 up front to start the damn business.
But investing in people's innovative ideas and giving them the ability.
You're not investing in them. What are you talking about? A $50,000 deduction is not a damn investment. It's basically saying, I'm not going to tax you if you've never been a business owner. This type of rhetoric might actually work on you. If you've never been a business owner, this type of rhetoric might actually work on you.
To go for it. Opportunity economy means, look, we don't have enough housing in America. We have a housing supply shortage.
Opportunity economy. We don't have enough housing in America. How we don't have enough housing in America? How do we not have enough housing in America? I would argue that we have more than enough housing in America. The problem is we don't have enough houses. The problem is the people can't afford the houses that are already here. You want to spend X amount of money to build 3 million houses for who? What's the point of building 3 million new houses if people can't even afford the ones that's already here?
And what that means, in particular for so many younger Americans, the American dream is elusive. It's just actually not attainable. So part of my plan is to work.
The American dream is elusive for younger people, not because there's not enough houses. The American dream is elusive for younger people because they can't fucking afford the houses. Younger people today can't afford the cost of living. It's not because it's not like the younger people just got plenty of money, they just can't find a house to live in. That's not what it is. Sweet Jesus.
With the private sector and housing developers to give them a tax credit, to be able to partner with us as the government, to build, and my goal is 3 million new homes by the end of my first term.
3 million new homes that can't nobody fucking afford. Like, what?
In addition, to help people who just want to get their foot in the door literally And so giving first-time home buyers a $25,000 down payment assistance to be able.
And that's what got you in trouble in the first. That's what got us in trouble in the first place. You want to give people, first-time buyers, $20,000 towards their down payment. What damn difference does that make if they can't afford the mortgage? This is the whole reason. This is part of the reason we had the damn housing crash. Because people were allowed to get houses they couldn't afford through predatory lending with these adjustable rate mortgages. They get the freaking house. A few months their mortgage is low, and then all of a sudden, boom, the mortgage goes up and they can't afford it. This is literally the reason we had the housing crash. That's why, if you notice, Trump's policies are about putting more money in the American public's pocket. This is why he's saying he doesn't want to tax tips. This is the reason why he's saying he doesn't want to tax overtime, because he understands none of that other stuff matters if you're not able to generate and keep any of your money. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. A freaking $50,000 tax deduction for a small business owner doesn't matter. A $20,000 down payment assistance for a first-time home buyer doesn't matter if inflation is through the roof. It doesn't matter if the cost of groceries are through the roof. It doesn't matter if you're being taxed ridiculously. We already have a problem with taxes in this country. You're taxed 6 ways from Sunday. You're taxed on your income. You're taxed when you purchase and buy goods. You're taxed when you own a vehicle. You're taxed when you own a home.
To just get in the door, and then they will do the work that they need to do to save and to pay that mortgage and to build wealth for themselves and their family. These are some examples of what I mean when I talk about an opportunity economy, and a lot of it has to do with just the community I was raised in and the people that I.
You literally didn't give any answers. You literally didn't. Your opportunity economy consisted of a $50,000 tax deduction for a small business owner and a $20,000 down payment assistance for a first-time homeowner. You literally didn't say anything in your plan for an opportunity economy. You didn't say anything about money generation. You didn't say anything about income. Nothing. You didn't say nothing about how these people would be able to increase their income. Some people will say, well, how did Donald Trump do that? Easy. Less regulation. You want to help small business owners? We don't need no help with tax deductions. What we need is less red tape, less regulation. And guess what? They're talking about taxing people that make over $400,000 a year. Guess what? That's small business owners. See, the problem is the average American is not a business owner, so they don't know how much money small businesses make. So when they say, oh, we're not going to increase taxes on anybody that makes less than $400,000, you immediately think they're talking about taxing the super rich. That will never affect the super rich. Because the super rich can afford teams of lawyers. The super rich can get tax deferments. The super rich can figure out ways to shelter their income to limit their tax liability. People that are making 4, 5, 600,000 a year running a small business, they're not always able to do that. They're in that in-between space. They're not bringing in millions of dollars a year. They're a small business. And to y'all, 400, 500,000 a year may seem like a lot of money. It's not a lot of money to a small business because they have employees they have to pay. They have overhead. They have supplies and things they have to buy to keep their business running. But she's sitting there talking about taxing people that make over 400,000. Those are literally the small business owners. What do y'all think a small business owner makes? If you yourself are able to get a job paying 50,000, 60,000, 70,000, 100,000 a year, what do you think small business owners bring in? If you as an individual can make 100,000 a year, what do you think small business owners bring in? She's literally talking about taxing the middle class. Because small business owners are in the damn middle class. There are a lot of small business owners in the middle class. But most people don't understand that because they listen to these politicians run their mouth and they have no concept of what they're talking about. Why? Because the average everyday worker is down at the bottom. The average what do they say the average worker makes? The average worker doesn't understand that a person making 400,000 a year is not super rich. They don't understand. There's a difference between you making 400,000 a year as an individual and a small business making 400,000 a year or $1 million a year. There's a difference. There's a huge difference.
I admired who work hard, and deserve to have, their dreams fulfilled because they're prepared to work for it.
You talked at the debate.
So when everybody says, when she gets up there on stage and she says, well, Donald Trump just wants to have tax cuts for his friends and the super rich. Guess who benefits from Donald Trump's tax cuts? Small businesses. I benefited from Donald Trump's tax cuts. And I'm not super rich, okay? I'm not super rich. But I can tell you this, I had a hell of a lot more disposable income when Donald Trump was in office than I do now. Don't get it twisted, I do well for myself. I'm not out here crying about groceries and gas prices, but I know people are. I'm not oblivious to it. I'm not crying about rent. I'm not crying about utility prices. I'm not crying about groceries. I'm not crying about gas. But I can look at my accounts, and when I buy shit, I see that my dollars are not going as far as they used to go. I can see that. So while I'm in a position where, there's a storm right now and I'm able to weather the storm, I know there's people out there that ain't weathering this storm. I know there's people out there that's hurting, that's fucked up in the game right now. Because if I can notice it with what I'm bringing in, I know they notice it. I know they notice it. Like real talk, because I've been on both sides of that fence. You feel me? And I ain't even gonna lie, I'm so thankful that I'm in the position that I'm in during Biden's term, because I don't know how some of y'all, I don't know how y'all doing it. The people out there that make, minimum wage, and I don't know how y'all doing it. I don't. And if you make minimum wage and you fixing your face to vote for Kamala Harris, you are crazy. You are crazy. You're crazy.
And at previous appearances about turning the page on the past. And in fact, here today in Johnstown, you're talking about a new way forward. Yeah. I think some people have a question, given maybe your current role as Vice President of the United States, how different you are from Joe Biden. And so I wonder if there are one or two spots, policy areas or approaches where you would say, I'm a different person.
Well, I'm obviously not Joe Biden. And
she's literally repeating the same thing she said at the debate. Verbatim. She's literally repeating the same thing. She told Trump, I'm clearly not Joe Biden.
I offer a new generation of leadership. And so, for example, thinking about developing and creating an opportunity economy where
she repeated it again.
It's about investing in areas that really need a lot of work. And maybe
which are? What areas is that?
Focusing on, again, the aspirations and the dreams, but also.
And by the way, she's so nervous, you can hear her swallowing. Pause. As she's talking, listen real carefully. Watch this. I'm gonna mute. Watch this.
It's about investing in areas that really need a lot of work. And maybe.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that gulp? She's nervous. She's nervous. This should scare the shit out of you. Why? How is she gonna talk to Putin? How is she gonna talk to Kim Jong-un or President Xi? How is she gonna talk to them? This should scare the living shit out of you. The fact that, let me tell you something. The fact that she even got to the position to even be considered for the presidency should scare you. The fact that she even got this close.
Focusing on, again, the aspirations and the dreams, but also just recognizing that at this moment in time, some of the stuff we could take for granted years ago, we can't take for granted anymore. For example, another plan that I have that is a new approach is to expand the child tax credit to $6,000 for young families for the first year of their child's life, because that is obviously a very critical state.
The child tax credit. Again, more welfare. More welfare. More welfare. More welfare. Because guess what? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you some real shit. The only people that really benefit from that tax credit are low-income people. The only people that benefit from that tax credit are lower income people. Let's be honest. Once you start making some decent money, you're not going to benefit from that. Andre said BINOs aren't low income. Facts, bro. So everybody in here that's BINOs, y'all already know. Y'all already know. Like, that shit don't benefit us.
Age of development of a child. And a lot of young parents need the help to buy a car seat or a crib or clothes.
A car seat. A car seat. Let me tell you something. Let me just say this. Let me say this. Let me be totally honest, right? Let me be totally honest. If you need help buying a car seat, your ass didn't have no business having a kid. Excuse me, a child. If you need help getting a car seat, you didn't have no business having a child. In fact, I'll take it a step further. If you need help buying a crib and a car seat, your ass shouldn't be voting. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Common Sense said you can get that for free. Of course you can. But they ain't going to tell you that. They ain't going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you that if you are that low on the socioeconomic ladder, most of that shit you'll get it for free. Because there's programs out here that'll give you that stuff. They'll give you a car seat. You feel what I'm saying? If you are low income and you're at the hospital and you don't have a car seat for that baby, they will give you one. If you don't have one of those carriers, they'll give you one. They'll never tell you that, though. They'll never tell you that, though.
For their kids. And so my approach is about new ideas, new policies that are directed at the current moment. And also, to be very honest with you, my focus is very much in what we need to do over the next 10, 20 years to catch up to the 21st century around, again, capacity, but also challenges.
Crime.
She literally didn't say anything. She literally did not answer the question. She literally didn't. It was word salad. Word salad, word salad, opportunity, economy, word salad, $50, $50,000 tax credit for small businesses, word salad, proud of our lawns, word salad, raised by a single mom, word salad, $20,000 for a down payment for first-time home buyers, word salad, $6,000 child tax credit, word salad. Same old Democrat playbook. Let's give the broke people free shit so they'll vote for us. That's all. And I'm going to tell you something right now. If you understand anything about the economy, we are not in a place to be giving away free shit. We're not. We're not. We are not in a place to be giving away free shit. We're not. We're not. We're already in bad shape now because of that. No. The only thing we should be giving people in this country is opportunity. That's the only, we should only be given opportunity and let the cream rise to the top. And if you end up at the bottom, it's your own damn fault. Like, real talk.
and public safety are two major issues right at the forefront of voters' minds. In Philadelphia as well, where crime is a significant issue. When we talk about crime, the conversation turns to gun safety as well. And I think you actually probably caught a lot of people off guard, maybe a bit by surprise in the debate the other night when you mentioned that you are a gun owner. I know you said it in 2019 as well. I want to talk about your values on this issue. When it comes to gun ownership, where do you draw the line in America on gun ownership and gun use?
Well, like you said, Brian, I am a gun owner, and Tim Walz, my running mate, is also a gun owner. We're not taking anybody's guns away. I support the Second Amendment, and I support reasonable gun safety law.
Pause. She said she's not taking anybody's guns away, right? That's what she said, right? If she's not taking anybody's guns away, then why did she come to North Carolina and say this?
And together, when we win in November, we are finally going to pass universal background checks, red flag laws, and an assault weapons ban. And together, when
assault weapons ban. Assault weapons ban. She's been talking about buyback programs. She's been talking about assault weapon bans. Now all of a sudden, she ain't taking nobody's guns.
part of my approach to this is I was a career prosecutor for most of my career. I have personally prosecuted homicide cases. I have personally looked at autopsies. I have personally seen what assault weapons do to the human body. And so I feel very strongly that it is consistent with the Second Amendment and your right to own a gun to also say we need an assault weapons ban. They're literally tools of war.
Anybody that thinks a AR-15 is a weapon of war is crazy. She's acting like we're out here with M16s. Not to mention the fact that whenever there is gun violence, in most cases, it's a handgun. Do y'all realize that most of the gun violence cases involve a handgun? They don't involve rifles.
They were literally designed to kill a lot of human beings quickly. I say we need universal background checks. The majority of NRA members support that.
AR-15s are semi-automatics. They are not automatics.
Why? Because it's just reasonable. You just might want to know.
So let me make sure I understand this. You want to get rid of law-abiding citizens' ability to own an AR-15. Meanwhile, all the criminals got switches. She wants to get rid of your ability to have an AR-15. Meanwhile, criminals got switches and AR-15s and Uzis and everything else you can think of. Everything else you can think of. This is something I've never... Well, I do understand it. I understand why they're doing it. I understand why they're doing it. And that right there in and of itself is scarier than anything in this world. But if you notice, they are always about taking away the ability of a law-abiding citizen to have a firearm instead of having stricter punishment on those that are not allowed to have a damn gun. How much sense does that make? How much sense does that make? It is ridiculous. It is beyond ridiculous. But she did this interview. It was pathetic and it's desperate. And she's doing the interview just in case she doesn't get to debate Trump again. And if you really want to be honest, I don't think she wants to. I don't think she should debate Trump again. I don't. I don't think she should debate Trump again. I think she should leave well enough alone. That's what I think. Hold on, let me get to these super chats, you guys. Let's get to these super chats. Let's see. Shout out to Living Humbly. He says support for the show. Already read that one. Shout out to Beastly Nerd. He said, or the boomers will bring up how morally corrupt Trump is, but forget they support an individual like JFK and Clinton who were cheating on their wives in the White House, but they talking about morals. Facts. Shout out to Steven. He said, good evening, AM. Awesome show. Did you hear about the whistleblower from ABC saying Kamala got the questions beforehand? I certainly did. Shout out to Marriage, Politics, and Sports for the membership. Shout out to Jasmine. Jasmine said, why is it always those non-relevant anecdotal tales when they ask her something? Never a forget answer relevant to policy. She never gives a relevant answer to policy. Yeah, facts. Shout out to Andre for the membership. He said, like Trump said, run, spot, run. Yep. Shout out to David. He said, bro, play the Tom and Jerry. Don't you believe it? Shout out to Zachary. He said, what would you do differently as far as growing your wealth if Trump was in office? I wouldn't have to do anything. That's the point. I wouldn't have to do anything. I became a six-figure earner under Trump, and every year that Trump was in office, my income doubled. I didn't have to do anything except what I'm doing right now. If Trump got back in office, I wouldn't have to do anything except what I'm doing right now. People will make more money because if he gets in office, the first thing he's going to do is drill, which is going to do what? It's going to lower the price of gasoline. It's going to lower the price of fuel. Once the price of fuel is lowered, the transportation of goods and services is now lower. See, y'all don't understand the way the economy works. Some of you, right? He said he's going to drill, baby, drill. That's going to lower the cost of fuel. Once the cost of fuel is lowered, you will now see goods and services at a lower price, which means the American public will have more disposable income. If the American public has more disposable income, guess what? You now have the ability to invest. You now have the ability to start businesses. You now have the ability to do a bunch of things. You'll watch as the stock market begins to rise. Why? Because the moment you have a commander-in-chief in office that actually has the economy running right, you'll now have confidence in the markets again, which means people will be willing to invest again. I don't got to do nothing if Trump gets back into office. except what I'm already doing. Nobody will. Everybody, this is what'll happen. If Trump gets back in office, all you have to do is continue doing what you're doing. The only difference is you'll get a bigger reward for what you're doing. That's it. That's it. If you're out here grinding, you will see more returns on your grind with him in office than you have with Joe Biden in office. That's the difference. The economy is the driving force of the country. If people don't have money, you can't do shit. Nothing. All of it is connected. David said, let's see, David said change. There has only been bad change since 2008. Trump for 4 short years helped some of the bad symptoms though. Yep. Shout out to Michelle, said those 3 million homes she proposed to build are for the migrants. They're not for you. Woo! Shout out to David. David says supporting the second to them is supporting BB and water gats only. Shout out to BC, said you hit the nail on the head. Cheap fuel, cheap prices, strong middle class. Facts. 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 And Trump, what he's planning on doing is going to work twofold. Because guess what? If he does that to lower the fuel prices, that's going to lower the cost of goods and services, right? In addition, him not taxing tips and not taxing overtime, that puts more income in the hands of the average everyday worker. And it also inspires people to work. It also inspires people to get up and go get a damn job. In addition to him bringing more revenue into the country by putting tariffs on these other countries that take advantage of us. But yeah, she literally said nothing. Look at her face. Look at her face. The cackler. She literally said nothing in this interview. Nothing of any value. Nothing. She said nothing in this interview. Shout out to James. James said Kamala is setting feminists back 200 years. Shout out to B, said thank you for cooking this hyena AM. Shout out to Jabril. He said the Central Park 5 was basically the crew in Juice. And by the way, the only thing I know about the Central Park 5 is that damn movie they came out with. I don't know what really happened. That's all I'm going to say about that. I don't know what really happened. So don't get me up here to lying and saying that I know the whole story. I don't know the whole story. Shout out to Zero Fallout. He says Second Amendment is for corrupt government. Mitt just hunting. Y'all got to start writing y'all's messages better, man. Y'all got me up here looking like an idiot when I read these messages. Shout out to Pickle Stan. He said, can you speak to the feminist Roe v. Wade talking point? I'm not speaking on that. That's already a touchy subject. I'm not messing with that. What's up?
Yeah. Well, we don't have to disagree, agree to disagree about the 3 stacks lyrical thing. But anyway, I've been back here for a minute. I came in when Harris was talking about the assault weapons thing.
Uh-huh.
And I know you backtrack. I want these people to hear this, right? And granted, I'm not the most political person,
Word.
but I'm a gun owner. I train. I'm in that world. This term assault weapons is extremely misleading. It's a meaningless term. Assault weapons, if you look up the laws, if you look at what assault weapons means, they're basically talking about any semi-automatic firearm.
Mm-hmm.
So they like to focus on the AR-15 and AR-15. AR-15s, all rifle deaths. I mean, granted, don't be wrong. Any person murdered with a firearm is tragic.
Yeah.
But rifle deaths in this country are extremely low. It's like low single digits.
Yeah.
So when they say when someone gets killed with an AR-15 in school shooting, something like that, and they talk about assault weapons, but if you read the details of the legislation they try to propose, they talk about semi-automatic firearms. That's virtually all firearms.
Yeah.
So just people listening, if you get into conversations, get into debates with people, and they say assault weapons, pin them down on what they mean. What do you mean by an assault weapon? And then see what they say.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous. It's very
because
yeah,
the thing about it, AR-15 is just a rifle, and
it's just a rifle.
typically a rifle is going to be used for hunting or home protection.
Correct.
Because most people
No, go
you can't carry you cannot hide an AR-15. If you go outside carrying it, everybody's going to see it.
Correct. And this just goes to show just how disingenuous they are with that. I remember Joe Biden. I think he was still vice president during the time. He was talking about if you want to defend your home, get a double barrel shotgun. A shotgun is far more destructive than an AR-15.
Way more destructive.
It's not even close.
Way more, especially
if
they close up.
Absolutely. As far as defending your home, I wouldn't even use the AR-15. I would use a pump action shotgun before I use AR-15 any day.
Yeah,
because like I say, it's more destructive. It's easier to maneuver with. It's you don't have to be as precise as with the AR-15. But the reason why they focus on the AR-15 is because, and not to get super philosophical with it, the AR-15 represents something that is. If you look at what the history of the Second Amendment is, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Second Amendment is not about hunting. It's not about protecting your home. It's about defense against a tyrannical government.
Yep.
If every single home in this country had an AR-15 in it, that's any government's worst nightmare. You also got to think about it. The United States has been in armed conflict for decades, right? Definitely since post World War II. The part of the reason why the American landmass, it virtually has no threat of getting invaded. One is just we're so large as a landmass. Secondly, is because there are so many guns here.
Yeah, it's damn near impossible to invade America because how are you going to secure a landmass this big?
Secure one that big. Also, too, if you got more guns than people, and the vast majority of gun owners are legal gun owners. They talk about the 40,000 people that are killed with firearms a year. Half those are suicides.
Yeah.
The ones that are homicides, the vast majority of those are with handguns, pistols, revolvers.
Yeah.
So it just irks me. I wish they would just come out and say we want to ban guns. At least we can have an honest conversation about it.
They're not gonna do that because they know if they come out and just say flat out they want to ban guns, they're gonna be viciously opposed. That they
Right.
know they can't do that.
Right, but I just want to get people hip on the mind games they pull because like assault rifle. First of all, AR-15 is not even an assault rifle. Assault rifle has automatic function. That's what the military has.
Yeah.
That's what right. An AR-15 is a semi-automatic rifle. It is not even close to being the most destructive firearm out there. AR-15 is what you have in your home if when shit hits the fan.
Yep.
That's what you have. if like this quote has been attributed to Huey Newton. I don't know if it's accurate or not, but he said he was talking about black men, but I can apply it to every person. Every person should have a handgun for their person to defend themselves and a rifle or a shotgun in their home to defend their home.
Yep.
If every single United States law-abiding citizen had that, that is the worst nightmare for anybody that's trying to take over here because you can't.
Yeah.
If every person's walking around with who's trained, who knows how to use their firearm, carrying it on their hip, and they have a rifle or a shotgun in their home to protect their home, you cannot overthrow that citizenry. You can't.
Yeah, because they the thing about it, there was a Japanese general back in the day.
Yep.
He said
behind every blade of grass.
Behind every blade of grass is a gun. And that's the main reason why, like, it's not just our military that deters people. It's the fact that they know if they come here, there is a potentially massive destructive force in this country, and that is the armed citizens of this country. And to take away the guns would be the beginning of the end of America.
Right. And like I said, there's like 400 million guns in the country, right? Like not even just like out, but just owned. 400 million guns that are owned by people in the country right now. What they're saying is not even possible. Even if they took away half of the guns, you're talking about 200 million guns. That's not. It's not possible.
Well, I don't. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. Like this whole thing about taking guns or whatever. I don't even see how they're gonna do that. Like, for instance, I lost my guns in a boating accident. So I don't even know how they would be able to take people's guns if you have so many people losing them in boating accidents.
Well, I'm a little more straightforward about it. They can, like, I don't get too bent out of shape about the whole Second Amendment debate because even if they repealed them, I'm not giving you anything. I'm just not gonna do it. Like you know the old phrase from my cold dead hands. You gonna have to come get them.
Yeah.
And I don't have a whole arsenal but I got enough to defend my home and defend my wife. You better come take them. It's just not, and here's what's so, and this is how you know people have been brainwashed, and especially our community, if we can even call ourselves a community anymore. It doesn't make any sense because on the one hand, we'll talk about white supremacy, we'll talk about racism, we'll talk about the systematic stuff in this country, but then you talk about taking away guns, and people will be like, "Yeah, we should give those away." What are you saying?
But you know why? You know why that is though.
Well, 1 second. Even people who are from the left-wing persuasion, have you not heard of the Black Panthers?
But you know,
the Black Panthers were Marxists, but they were super
militant.
Pro-defense.
Yeah. But
so can you be consistent in your ideology? That's all I'm asking.
But you know why black people do that, right? Every single black television show, going all the way back to the 80s, has at least one gun episode that deters black people from owning guns. Have you ever paid attention to that? Every single one of them. Carlton Banks had a gun to protect himself. Accidentally shoots Will.
Yeah.
Will takes the gun from him. They had an episode like that on Blackish. They had an episode like that. They had JJ getting shot on Good Times. Like, there's always an episode to scare the hell out of black people from owning guns. Always.
I don't. Maybe because I've lived in the South my whole life. A gun is only going to do what the person wielding it does.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's an inanimate object. I carry it on a regular basis. I keep it around the chamber. I keep it on. I appendix carry. I know what that means. Most people might not know what that means. But it sits there and nothing happens.
Yeah.
Until I take it out and I do something with it. So just for the people listening, and you probably got hundreds of people in the chat right now. When they use that term assault weapon, you need to your ears need to perk up, and you ask, what do you mean by that? Because that is a sly maneuver they're trying to do to go into just outright banning guns. And for any black person in this country who is halfway knowledgeable about history, if you think you want to be in a better position by whatever political faction banning guns, you are a fucking idiot.
Crazy.
You're an idiot.
Crazy. Dude.
And so to use the criminal element in our community as justification for why law-abiding, which the vast majority, we're talking high into the 90% people who own guns are law-abiding, to use the criminal element or the people who are insane that shoot up schools and do this stuff, to use that as justification to getting rid of all the firearms, you're an idiot. You're an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
And Vice President Harris, she's lying because, first of all, the Democratic platform for years has been to mandatory buybacks, assault weapons bans, all this. So now she's saying, well, I'm a gun owner and Walls is a gun owner, so therefore that means we don't. She's lying.
Yeah,
she's outright lying.
Mm-hmm.
That's the long and short of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when she said that, and I watched the debate, and when she said, I said that's just not true. You've been saying this for years. Your party has been saying this for years. That's not true. So y'all do what you want, but me personally, I'm not giving nothing. And you believe that bull if you want to.
Yeah, I'll tell you like this. At the end of the day, I don't wanna be in a country where I'm not allowed to own something that I can use to defend myself.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, I look at it like, okay, well, you know what? I hope y'all get it together, because it's like on 300 when the Persian said, "Spartans, throw down your weapons." Niggas threw a spear over there, said, "Persians, come and get them."
Right.
Like, nigga, we not playing these games, man. Like, look, I don't want none of that to happen. I pray to God they can get it together. But at the end of the day, man, look, I was raised American. And as an American, I believe in certain things. Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. Like, for real.
I believe in common sense. Even if the whole tyrannical government thing doesn't happen, I'm worried about a nigga kicking in my door at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Facts.
Like, what? This is what baffles me. Even if you're not political, and I'm not super political, I pay attention, but I don't put my trust in either one of these parties, because I don't think either one really has the best interest of black. I think we're pawns on both sides. Like Malcolm X said, it's a fox in the wolf.
Yeah.
But this is just common sense. Who do you think the police? I don't care if the police is up the street in any kind of, and maybe I'm biased because I'm paying more attention to situational awareness and how to protect yourself more than the average person. But even if it's a 2-minute response time, which is super fast for the police, it only takes on average 10 seconds for something to happen.
Yeah.
2 minutes is an eternity.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing.
I don't understand this thing about let's just give away our defense because some higher authority is going to protect us. That's nuts. It's just nuts.
Yeah, but
and you don't have to have an arsenal or have 50 guns to protect yourself. Just a decent sidearm and a shotgun or a rifle to protect your home. And you're going to give that up and put your faith in the same police system we know is not historically been on black folks' side. What is wrong with you niggas?
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. What Malcolm said was true about the wolf and the fox, but the only time the wolf and the fox is a problem is when you're a chicken.
Exactly.
You feel me? When you're a damn wolf yourself or fox yourself, it's a problem, but it ain't the same problem for the chickens. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's just, and it's especially if economically times are harder, especially if they get in, it's gonna get rougher. People gonna eat, bro.
Yeah.
So if you think that you're gonna be somehow, if times economically get harder and harder and harder, people are gonna do what they gotta do. You're gonna have to do what you gotta do to protect yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to get your situation awareness up. You're gonna have to, might have to cut back on some of the other stuff that don't matter. Get you a decent firearm, get you a decent home defense weapon, and you're gonna have to train because it's gonna get rough out here as times get harder.
Well, here's the thing. it's not just that, but in this day and age, you definitely don't want no issue with the guns because look at all of these people that just poured into this country.
I'm talking about that too. I'm putting the whole broad spectrum into it. And think about it, someone like Colorado. Colorado's not a gun-friendly state.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm in Georgia. That wouldn't happen in a random apartment complex in Georgia.
Hell no.
Not happening. And I don't care if it's a conservative area or a liberal area. Random foreign gang trying to break into and extort people in a gun. No, that's not happening. It's going to be the OK Corral out there, and that might not be what people want to hear. But I tell you what, you ain't about to just come just take it. You want to get it.
It's not happening. It ain't happening in Texas. It ain't happening in Florida.
Right.
It ain't happening in Georgia. It ain't happening in North Carolina. It ain't happening in Virginia. And the funny thing about it is the border's right there at Texas, and they had to go to Colorado to do that shit.
Exactly, and there's a reason why they went to Colorado to do it.
Yeah, because they ain't stupid.
Right. So, for the people listening, like I don't comment too much about the political stuff, but once you said that, and every time I hear it, it's like I know what trick you're trying to pull, and that's not gonna fly. So when they say assault weapons, just know they mean any semi-automatic firearm. Period. Your Glock is a semi-automatic.
Yep.
So they will classify that as an assault weapon too. So just keep your ear to the grindstone and just be aware of what's going on. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yep. But shit, bro, I appreciate you coming up here, man.
Yeah. And 3 Stacks did make the South lyrical. I mean, I know what you're talking about with that.
No, he didn't, man. You know
whatever.
He
You know 3 Stacks is the GOAT. Let's not even play.
You know he didn't. He's lyrical, but he didn't make them other niggas be lyrical. Them other niggas was still doing that other shit they was doing.
Well, I mean, when you're so advanced, I mean, some niggas just want to quit. I mean, you know, let's not forget 3 Stacks is the only like GOAT that no one has ever tried. Let's not forget that too. He's the Shaolin monk. You've seen Kill Bill, right? He's Pai Mei. He's the nigga with the long beard. You can come up there and try. He's chilling. He's eating his rice. He's sitting on meditating. But if you come up there and try, they're gonna catch your head off. So don't even try it.
Well, he come from an era where niggas respected true goats. You feel what I'm saying?
That's true.
That's what that is. Like once LL reached true goat status, niggas left him alone. You know what I'm saying? Like once a nigga reaches true goat status, you supposed to leave that nigga alone. You supposed to just say, okay, let's put that nigga up here, and you know, give him his props. Like they had to ask him, Mrek, my boy Mrek, he was doing an interview with Jada. And he said, he asked Jada, he said, what you think about LL's top 5? Because, you know, people had issues with his top 5. And Jada said, yo, whatever LL said is what LL said. You know what I'm saying? Like, basically,
some people just so high up. It's like,
you gotta
respect what they say. LL, Rakim, Stacks, Nas, Jay, Busta, like whoever said Kendrick. And I like the whole Kendrick and Drake thing. I like them both. Mm. So like I'm not super invested in their beef. I still know what the niggas are beefing about. But like to say either one of them is on the level of Busta Rhymes, what?
Bruh.
What do we like? Y'all niggas need to do your homework.
I told niggas
Busta Rhymes goes back to Tribe Called Quest, fam. Like, what are we doing? Bruh,
I got so mad at Busta gotta run like LL gotta run. You know what I'm saying?
He got a LeBron run. Like,
like that nigga been in there forever. And look, here's the thing. And he got hits. Busta got hits. You feel me?
He got club hits. He got street hits. He got lyrical hits. Busta is not the nigga you want to try, bro. Let's not even play.
Yeah. That's like let's be real about it. Like it's certain people, you just put them up there on that shelf. And you just leave them the hell alone. You feel what I'm saying?
Unless you want, the rain and thunder to come down on your head. I mean, I don't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Can't none of these, but none of these new niggas, and I'm including Kendrick, Drake, Cole, Big Sean.
Here we go with the goofiness. Hey, yo,
it's not a game.
Yeah, like my thing is with that. like I said, they just need to leave certain people alone. I told them, niggas got me so mad one time. I told them flat out, I said, bro, I said, I'll take Ghostface Killer and Raekwon and wash all of them niggas.
Yeah. Meth Man too.
Yeah. Like, it's not even like close. So it's like, yo, just, let Kendrick and Drake have their little back and forth, and, time will tell who comes out completely on top. Because even when you look at you can't even judge Nas and Jay's beef by ether, because look at what has happened since then. Look at everything that's happened since then. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, nah, that's just you looking at skirmishes. That was a battle and a skirmish. And yeah, Nas came out on top in that skirmish.
In that one little between Takeover and Ether got him, but like Nas didn't kill Jay-Z, obviously.
Exactly.
But
now you look at LL and Cannabis. LL destroyed Cannabis.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
He's gone. You know what I'm saying? And the messed up part about it is LL even talked like he was on Joe Budden, and he was like, yeah, that was back when I was more competitive and a little more immature, but it is what it is. I said, damn.
Right. You know what I think it is? I think niggas equate hip-hop to like basketball, football, and older niggas get to mean their skills diminish. No, that's not how that works. The older these niggas get, especially when you're talking about people who have been doing it since they were teenagers, they only get better.
Yeah.
Like you think these jokers that's in their late 40s, 50s stop rhyming, they stop writing? You think Rakim don't have 10 albums worth of music he can drop it anytime he wants to?
Yeah. And look, here's the other thing too, because niggas like to do this too. As much as I can't stand Joe Budden, as much as I can't stand his take on certain shit, I never say he's a trash rapper.
Oh no, he can rap his ass off.
Ever. He got bars.
Joe Budden got tired with just the business side of music and the BS. But just purely as an MC, y'all don't want to see him.
Yeah. He got bars.
He ever get, and now he's making so much money not doing the podcasting thing, he don't, from a business side, he really has no motivation to do it. But if he just really wanted to just flex on y'all pen-wise, stop it.
Yeah. Did you see that freestyle that Mace did recently on the Is What It Is podcast?
Yeah, I be seeing them. Him and Cam. When they, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's when you have a skill set like that, you don't forget how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mace and Cam, he'll just randomly bust a freestyle on there, and it's like they've been doing it all the time because they have been doing it all the time. They never stop.
Yeah.
They just decided for business reasons, okay, this over here is more profitable. But for as far as the skill set and the artistry of it, they can go toe to toe with any one of you niggas.
Yep.
So y'all keep believing Fat Meats and Greasy. Go right ahead.
Yeah.
Keep talking. You gonna make one of these old niggas come down off that porch and beat you with their cane.
Yep. They go come out there and get busy. Like, and you got cats out here that like niggas be overlooking 38 Special. Niggas be overlooking Benny the Butcher. Like, what are we talking about? Niggas be overlooking all them Griselda dudes and Trust and all of these. It's a lot of cats out here that's monsters.
Right. So just don't stop feeding. And look at Kendrick is a beast. I know you got your issues with Kendrick, but I like Kendrick. He's a beast. But let's not get this thing twisted. He is by no means the king of anything.
He's a beast when dudes is not gassing him and kissing his ass.
Yeah.
He need. I'm gonna tell you what Kendrick need, right? Because I don't give a shit what nobody say. You still haven't got his best album. You still haven't got his best album. And I'm gonna tell you right now, what he needs to get his best album is for niggas to stop praising him the way they praising him. If niggas stop praising him the way they praising him, you will get your best Kendrick album ever. You feel me? And I don't know. I feel like Drake got something cooking. Cause I know he hurt behind the way the fans is treating him. I think he got something cooking. I hope he got something cooking.
Well, in that aspect, on Drake's side, we know niggas are fickle. So not like us. It was red hot for a minute. Couple months. By the time the Super Bowl come around, people not gonna be thinking about not like us. what Drake needs to do, and I've been saying this for Drake for years. Drake needs to just do a compilation, a greatest hits compilation, like Volume 1, Volume 2, and just release that compilation and just let niggas and release it as like a double greatest hits album, just to let niggas know you forgot how deep my catalog is. Because Drake is not really an album maker. He makes fire songs.
Yeah.
So if he just compiles all his greatest hits on the one album and release that as a solid greatest hits album. Say, I don't know if you're familiar with Billy Joel. Billy Joel had a Volume 1, Volume 2 where he released his greatest hits.
Yeah.
And that was his highest selling album.
Mm-hmm.
If he did something like that, it'll make niggas remember like who Drake is.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my take on that.
Yeah. Well, shit, bro. I appreciate you coming up, man.
All right, man.
All right, peace. All right, so I know it's some more people in the back, but we can't pull nobody else up because we at 5 hours, man. I'm not trying to go longer than 5 hours, man. But I appreciate y'all for joining. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to Zero Fallout. He said AR stands for Amalite Rifle, not assault rifle. Facts. Shout out to Yoshi K. Said I already read that one. Let's see. Shout out to Mr. Hard Pill. He said flip flops on everything except LGBT and Planned Parenthood. Salim said, why doesn't Kamala talk about her dad? A good question. And shout out to Dub Will. Appreciate you. Let's see. Shout out to Andre. Andre said they wild and nobody is touching Buster on stage. Facts. But yo, that's the show for today, man. I appreciate you guys for tuning into the show. We went a little longer than I thought we was going to go, but it is what it is. Great conversation. Make sure you guys go check out the book. The book is available on Amazon. The Angryman Standard. All you have to do is type that in the search bar on Amazon and it will come up, or you can hit the link down in the description. But other than that, man, I appreciate you guys for coming through. Shout out to everybody that contributed. Shout out to all the sponsors, and salute to the whole BINO Nation. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Deuces.
Spartans! What is your profession?